Yo, Halte devlog, not 6 months apart. Last time I tried to create NPC AI for my tram operator horror game. It was a disaster. It feels like I've done a lot, but the game still looks exactly the same. That's why I want to focus in this part on something that will make the game look even better. I want to work on art and fix stuff along the way. I want to make something so I can look at it and say, it's not that bad, could be better. The problem is, I am not an artist, and I don't want to make models that will eventually be replaced. My precious time can only be fulfilled by game development progress and random YouTube videos about obscure topics. A lot of YouTube videos, I actually have a problem. I mean, I was just watching like a documentary about Mario 64, 4 hours long about invisible walls. If only there was a way to test things in a game without spending hours on creating the perfect assets that lose their value over time when you change your mind yet again. Wait, I've been doing that for 3 years now. If you don't know what grey boxing is, it's basically you take boxes and they're mostly grey, and then you mash them together, multiply them a couple times and you have a level. Super easy, especially if you release your game like that. Let's try it. But before diving in, I really want to continue working on this game, and 95% of you are not subscribed. So please subscribe, it's completely free, you will help me, you will help the game, so it would be nice. I want to start by greyboxing a tram stop. I mean, at this point it's just grass, and the tram stop is very important for this game. Sure, it's environmentally friendly to just have grass, but if I wanted to make a horror game out of grass, I would burn it. After placing a single box, the NPCs just phase through it like it's not even there. I mean, that's probably because I forgot the collider, yeah. Once I fixed that, I added some extra fluff. Couple fences here, a single bench there. But even a simple scene like this can really help you imagine the atmosphere of the game. It's actually pretty cool. The tram stop looks good and there are no glitches whatsoever. Greyboxing really helps me with compositing, like where things should be, how big they should be, if they should be even there in the first place. That also made me realize something very important. I have to add sprinting. Sprinting can be such a good mechanic in a game, but it can easily mess up the whole flow, especially in a horror game. I mean, I don't want people to speedrun my game like in GoldenEye.
Right in the head! Yeah!
So I decided to add a sprint that doesn't go too fast, but I'm also not gonna make it useless, of course. I mean, this is probably a bit too fast. I mean, you probably want to be that fast in a horror game, but that's not what I envisioned. This is also quite interesting. Okay, cool. I yoinked a bit of footstep code from a previous cancelled project, and sprinting is now as I want it to be. Talking about yoinking, do you remember in part 2 where I had a specific problem about a flashlight? Couple people commented on how I pronounced it weirdly. That's not good. Please stop making fun of my speech impediment called being Belgian. Anyways, the problem with the flashlight torch was how easily I can lose it. If I throw it, it's consumed by the void. And sadly for me, it's not that type of horror game. It would be cool though. I could add it as a feature. Bugs as a feature, AAA style. You guys actually suggested some good ideas to fix the flashlight. Make a power switch that glows. Use an outer glow or a small shining star. Add a highlight and a slight glow. Reminds me of a dream where I've been chased by faceless Gordon from Thomas the Tank. No, okay, no. Add an outline. Okay, cool. A slight glow, of course. That sounds pretty easy. If I can just make the model glow when I throw it away, it will be the perfect solution. Though I don't think this is what I want. What if I just use a sphere? It should be pretty easy, I just have to code like a shader or something. Okay, no, never mind. Outer glow, what a good first idea. Turns out Unity has a halo component that actually works pretty well. But just like any other component in Unity, you can't change anything in the source code without paying for an arbitrary amount of money behind the contact button. If I just turn down the brightness a bit, it actually looks pretty decent, especially with all the shaders we have. After tweaking it a bit, adding a timer and a bit of animation, I can now throw it on the ground and it will start emitting light a bit later. I also added a bit of collision detection, which was actually way easier than I first thought. There was one thing in the game that I knew was a problem from the start, and that is player freedom. I want people to like roam around the tram stop, but I don't want them to go too far. I mean, if they go too far, it's not really a game about a tram anymore, just a game about forests and cities and stuff, and I don't want to model all of that. Whenever the player is at a stop, I want them to be able to at least go a bit further than the stop itself. That's why I have to find a good way to create bounds around the whole environment. And I don't like it at all when games just use invisible walls. I mean, in Mario 64 it's okay because they use like a slippery slope, but it's still an invisible wall. And especially in Zelda, Zelda just says like, you can't go any further, blah 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 blah. I don't like that. So I'm gonna do exactly the same, but a bit different. Whenever the player gets too far away, they will run into an invisible wall, but it will turn into a monologue. And the monologue says something like, I don't want to get fired, so I should probably turn back, or something like that. I think it's a good solution. It's also very easy to implement. I just have to create an invisible wall, a trigger, and that's it. I should probably be very wary about border placement though. If I rotate it incorrectly, it just pushes the player out of bounds. That's not gonna be a good bug. Imagine just having that bug, like completely unplayable. I can't wait to get clips like this when the game is actually unplayable on release. Hello angry people, it's not my fault that the game is completely unplayable. You have a virus. I installed the virus. I also added a new font in the game, which is a bit bolder and a bit more readable. I also finally added more tracks to the tram, so you can't call it a train anymore. And I also took the time to optimize the tram speed a bit, fixing some dashboard bugs for the 50th time, and added a pretty cool way to die. Dying has been in the game since I added the jump scare mechanic. I think it would be pretty funny if the player gets punished for being too fast. I want a 2-hour playtime from Steam, so the death animation will be 1 hour and 14 minutes. No. Just imagine the tram like going too fast, and when you exit the tram as a player, you just die. You just tumble, ragdoll, just like the jump scare a bit, but then without the jump scare. And when the tram doesn't go too fast, you can just exit and the tram will just brake by itself. And now we're back with the NPCs. They're still a bit buggy, who would have thought? For example, the NPCs sit inside of the shell of the tram and slide after you talk to them. Me when I forgot my my AirPods. Fixing it though was easy enough. You can also talk to sitting NPCs now. Let's work a bit more on the actual game loop. No game will work well without finding a fun game loop first. That's why Minecraft is such a fun game, because the game loop is yes. And yes, but modded. Of course I already have it on paper, but I have to test it as well. I want to create a fun little system where NPCs can move in and out of the tram. I want them to spawn in random positions, exactly like this. But I don't think NPCs on the roof is that smart though, and I also don't think there's enough room for all of them. Really feels like a classic going to work by train day with those professional pusher guys. That's a real thing. After a bit of debug.log, yup, it's more reliable now. Of course I want the NPCs to move out of the tram as well, otherwise that wouldn't be realistic, and we're all about realism in this game. So here we have this giant enemy crab. Is it not? I saw that PewDiePie video like a week ago. Anyways, the NPCs that enter and exit the tram should take different routes. The only thing blocking the NPCs is the blocking system itself. I also quickly tried to fix the animations when the NPCs enter the tram, but that didn't really work out as intended. They're just stomping aggressively and glide into the ground. Here's a better angle of all the enter-exit stuff. I think it really gives a good look and at one of the most important moments of the game. Is it fun? Is it annoying? When will the player be completely done with it? Most of these problems can be solved by just how many tram stops the game will have. Only playtesting will show that. And there you go, a little bit of grey boxing, traumatic NPC programming, death, and the game's now getting closer to how I want the final game to be. In the next part I will be checking out the art style a bit more, creating like a small area, the starting area, with finished models. Who knows? The only way to know is to subscribe and watch every video so the retention rate doesn't look like... Anyways, thank you so much for watching, thank you for supporting me, and see ya.